All right, this week, let's go with the good news, and it's not bad news, but just something to be aware of. Good news is even though you have two chapter lectures to watch, chapter 7 and 8, they're both really short. Like I think chapter 8 is less than an hour. It's like 50 something minutes. Chapter 7 is not much longer than an hour. So the two chapters you've got to watch this week shouldn't take much longer than just like one chapter on another week. So that's the good news. The thing to be aware of is that those chapters are really dense. There's a lot of information packed in a short amount of time. So I'll always have students who like maybe don't do that great on the first exam, even more than that, kind of struggle on the second exam. The third exam, I'm convinced that's your best chance to bounce back and do really, really well on a test if you watch the lecture videos and if you take notes and if you study. Students who do that typically do really well on the third exam compared to the other ones. Now, on the flip side, if you don't study or if you just skim over the PowerPoint and that's all you do to prepare for the test, it could be even worse because this is stuff that if you've never seen it before can be kind of intimidating. But if you've got the lecture video where I'm walking you through and explaining things, it's really not that bad. So just please, if you've made it this far in the semester without watching lecture videos, please do that starting now, and I think it'll really, really pay off. And then please do that for the rest of the semester, all right? Okay, so we're going to watch Chapter 7, which is on photosynthesis, and Chapter 8, which is on cellular respiration. Both of those processes, photosynthesis and cellular respiration, if you remember from the metabolism chapter last week, these are biochemical pathways or biological metabolic pathways. That happen in plant cells, and then with cellular respiration that happens in plants and animals and pretty much everything. All right. So there's a lot of steps that we're going to go through that, like I said, can be a little confusing, but if you'll watch those, that should help a lot. In the folder for those, there's also going to be just a Excel that you can print off, and it's going to look like a worksheet, and it's a chance for you to go through and kind of review the material. This is not an assignment, it's not worth any points, but if you will print those worksheets off and when you're studying, like take notes and fill the steps out as we're going through, that should be a really good chance to make sure that you understand the material. All right? So watch those two lecture videos. You have a Chapter 7 and 8 review quiz, which is going to be due on Sunday. You also have Lab 5 is on plant photosynthesis. So just a heads up, on this lab, you're going to need baking soda and spinach, and then a lot of other things are probably household items. If you can find a single hole punch, so those are the little metal things that you squeeze and it punches a little hole out of your paper. If you can find one of those, that's going to help you out a lot because you're going to have to get punches out of spinach leaves that we're going to use for this lab. If not, you can get some scissors and you can cut squares out that are roughly that size. But if you got a hole punch lying around, or if you can borrow one from a neighbor or something like that, that's going to save you a lot of time. Okay? If you read through the instructions in the lab folder, it says that this takes a recommended 3 hours. Maybe give yourself a little more time than that because a lot of this is just going to be kind of waiting around. You're going to have an experiment. You need a desk lamp too. Sorry, that's another big one. So you're going to set up these experiments with the spinach disc. You're going to expose those to a desk lamp, and those discs are going to be able to do photosynthesis, but you have to wait a little while for those results. Okay, so just don't wait until like 10 or 11 p.m. on Sunday because you probably won't get them done before the due date. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Exam 3 is next week, so that's going to be trying to do math in my head real quick. The 11th and 12th. July 11th and 12th is when that test is going to be open. So just make sure you are preparing for that. And we're roughly halfway through the semester at this point. So if you've got any questions about your grade, what's it going to take for you to pass or finish with whatever grade you need to transfer to a different college or anything like that, if you will just please let me know. I'll be glad to help you out with any of that. Okay? Thanks, and let me know if you need anything.